So today I would like to speak about the most well-known and famous framework in the agile world, which is Scrum. I will try to make it very simple to you to understand it because it is very simple, yeah, to understand. But then the application needs a little bit some effort because it's a kind of change. So let's start. Let's dive in. So what is Scrum? By definition, Scrum is an agile approach for developing innovative products and services. You can name it a framework, you can name it a process, you can name it a methodology, you can name it a method as you want. But from my point of view, it is an agile approach, meaning it is a feedback-driven approach. And that's the simple, how we can say, line that I can describe Scrum with. How does it work in practice? And this is, I'll try to have 5 steps in this slide and 5 steps in the next slide to explain the whole concept of Scrum. It is very easy. Take it easy because it is very easy to understand. So let's start with the first, how I can say, step. You need to create a product backlog, a prioritized list of features, stories, or things to do and other capabilities needed to develop a successful product. A list of things to do to develop a successful product. Very easy. Guided by the product backlog, you always work on the most important and highest priority items. That's a very important thing. You need to prioritize. You need to focus on the most important thing, on the 20 most important thing that will create the 80% of the impact or solve the 80% of problems. So then when you run out of time, sprints, time box it, any work that didn't get completed will be of lower priority than the completed work. That's normal. Yeah, because you are working from above to how we can say to below how we can say what we planned in the sprint. And the work is performed in time box iterations, 2 to 4 weeks. Sprints, we name them. But you can also do sprints with 1 day sprint or 1 week sprint. It's up to you. You can adapt it to your context. Then during the iteration, a cross-functional and self-organized team does the work to produce completed working features that could be put into the production. This is a very important thing. Cross-functional teams need a team with the needed skills to transform the product backlog into a product. And that's it. Self-organized, meaning that they decide on the way they work together, they try to decide by themselves on a lot of topics and make progress. Another thing is important is that could be put into the production, and this is an important thing. A lot of teams fail to do that. So you need to go how we can say through some pipelines of deployment and so on, but could be put into the production that is potentially potentially releasable, how we can say product or a version of product. At the end of an iteration, the team reviews the completed features with the stakeholders to get their feedbacks. Because Scrum is an agile approach, a feedback-driven approach, we need to sit down with the stakeholders and show them our progress and get their feedbacks on what we did. And based on this feedback, the PO and the team can alter and change the plan to work, or their plan to work on the next thing in the next iteration. At the end of the iteration, the team also should have a potentially shippable product or an increment of the product, one that can be released if appropriate, meaning when the stakeholders or the customers say, okay, hey team, I need this version, I like it, it helps me, it could help me doing things, and I would like to have it into the production. So you need to be able to deliver this into the production. At the end of the iteration, the team also sits together and reflect on how we can improve our way of working, meaning the retrospectives is like 1 or 1.5 hour, where the team sits together and try to see what we can improve together. There is a lot of good retrospectives now emerging. It is retrospective based on data, retrospective based on reasons logs, and there is a lot of of better now ways to do retrospectives. But as each iteration ends, the whole process is begun anew with the planning of the next iteration. That's it. So you plan, you get feedback, you do you plan the most important thing, you work on it, you get the feedback after the sprint, adapt a little bit, adjust, and plan the next thing, and so on, step by step. It is very easy, very common sense. Nothing is complex. But why we use a Scrum? This is a good question. In our days, there is a lot of changes, and we need a rapid. There is a need for rapid exploration and feedback when we are working in complex domains where things are unpredictable rather than predictable. You cannot predict the future now in the software, in the knowledge work domain. And that's why we need a process with shorter feedback in order to learn using facts, collecting feedbacks, and then adjust and move on. The need to avoid the big front architecture design, especially in software. We don't like to make it fixed architecture and take a big risk from the beginning. And when a change is coming, we will, how we can say, spend a lot of money, and it will be very costly to change things into the architecture or to make our software or product a little bit agile or flexible to respond to the change or to the requirements that we receive from our customers. So we need a different and more balanced approach to design just in time, meaning that our architecture should be also agile, open for changes whenever we get new requirements from our customers or from the market or from the business. So there is also a desire to work in cross-functional teams that collaborate continuously. Collaboration is very important. So we need to have a team with the needed skills to work on the items, to transform the items into the product or the product backlog into the product. And we need to have these teams sitting together, speaking together to get more communication, more collaborative mode of working. And this is proven that it makes the team make better progress and build a very good team spirit. So takeaways and conclusions. So Scrum is not a silver bullet or a magic cure. So don't be, how we can say when I use a Scrum, I will solve all my problems. However, Scrum can help you embrace the changes that accompany the all complex product development efforts. So Scrum will help you accept changes in a better way. Scrum is simple to understand, but not easy to apply because it means a shift in a little bit in the thinking and a change on the way we are working or habituated to work. And the Scrum doesn't give individuals and organization a cookbook solution to all the organization's problems. Instead, Scrum makes visible the dysfunction and ways that prevent organizations from reaching their potential, meaning that Scrum will help you make problems transparent so that you can tackle them, work on them, and improve them. So this is an overview about Scrum. I hope that you find this valuable. Please comment and subscribe to my channel, and good content is coming in the future. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.